Hey everybody, I'm back, and today I'm going to be answering a question that I've been getting a lot lately on the page, and that is, which track spikes do I prefer out of Superfly R4s, my sellers over here? Um, I don't have Jawfly 2s, so you know what Jawfly 1s are going to do, and I don't have MaxCat 4s, but of course, you know, the MaxCat 3 is basically the same thing as a 4s. So I'm going to start off by talking about probably the MaxCat 3. So let's dive right into it. This is, of course, the MaxCat 3, and as you can tell, it looks exactly the same as the MaxCat 4, but there are some differences, and I'm going to lay it down right here. As you can see on the plate, I know there's gum on it. I don't know why people chew gum on the track meets and then throw it on the track. Don't ask me. But as you can see by the plate right here, that's the heel. And the heel is, of course, different on the new fours. But I remember when the first fours came out, it was the same. The vault pair, if you guys probably seen it. The upper is exactly the same, except there is flywire underneath. So that's one thing to keep in mind. These do not have flywire. The new ones do. And basically everything else is the same. So what I use the MaxCat 3 for, I use this spike for 200s through 800s. I've ran 200s, 400s, 300s, 600s, 500s, and 800s. All of those events in these spikes, and these spikes honestly are amazing. Right now, they are my training spikes, so they're out of rotation from the spikes that were at meets. And the reason why is, of course, the plate. If you can tell right here, the plate is like kind of cracking, and that's not good. So I just keep this spike, you know, as like a backup and just to train with now. It's extremely breathable. Remember this. It's extremely breathable and is great. It's great for the turns. It's kind of like a less aggressive spike for the 200. So if you're more of a 2 guy, try to go with something more aggressive, like the Jawfly 2 slash Jawfly or a Superfly. But the thing is, with the Superfly, it's a bit heavier. I know people, if you're running a 400, a lot of people will say that it kind of gets annoying. But for me personally, I do it whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as the spike feels great on foot, then a couple ounces isn't really gonna affect me, or 0.1 ounce, whatever. So yeah, this spike is great for 200 through 800. I'm sorry, and personally, I highly recommend this spike. If you're trying to go for a spike that does everything, this spike really does it, because the new ones have like this, like the victory heel, and if you heel strike, I guess it's better. And this spike is now used a lot for 800. I've used it for the 800, but a lot of my friends use it now. So that is, of course, MaxCat 3/4. So I highly recommend this spike. I'm pretty sure it still retails at 110. So look out for that. The next spike I'm going to be talking about is the second spike I got when I was in my junior year. Oh, by the way, the MaxCat 3, that spike's been with me for about 5 to 6 years. But the next spike I got right after the MaxCats were the Jawfly ones, and the Jawfly one, the twos are totally different. I know that. So just keep that in mind. The upper is extremely different, but as you can tell, the plate is still true. This spike, I use it. I use it for a practice spike. I've used it at a meet last year, and that's kind of weird because I usually don't use really old spikes. But I decided to bring these out because I like these spikes, and they've been like kind of like a good luck pair that I always bring out for special events. And mostly for practice now, I do a bunch of speed in these, as you can tell by the plate. The plate's kind of, all the chrome is gone, literally. It's really dry. I've used it for long jump. Don't do that. But yeah, it has fly wire, as you can tell. And this spike's amazing. I love this spike, and I highly recommend the 2, because everybody I've talked to about the 2 just tells me everything that the Jawfly is, but better. The lockdown is amazing. The lacing system is perfect. The padding is great. And I highly recommend the spike. It's great for the turns. This plate is super aggressive, as you guys can tell right there. The arch right here, that little push thing right here. I'm not an expert at track spikes, so please don't crucify me. I've ran 100s, well 55 meters up to until like 400 meters in these spikes. I highly recommend these spikes. They're great for if you want like more of aggressive spike. As I said, the Max Cat 3s are not as aggressive, but these spikes right here will do the job for you if you're looking for something more aggressive. And now let's go on to the third pair of spikes that I actually bought, and these are, of course, the Nike Zoom Sellers, and this spike right here is kind of everything I wanted in a spike, and I thought it was going to be amazing, and it is amazing, but I kind of overhyped it in my head. But this spike truly is kind of everything that you want in a spike. This spike combines what the R4 upper is, as you can tell with the swoosh, and it has exposed fly wire. These move, this one doesn't, and the plate is a seller plate, like the seller plate. I've always wanted a seller plate on my spikes because it just looks amazing, and knowing that it's a 3/4 plate, I always thought that it was going to be great for a 400 meter runner, and it's amazing for a 400 meter runner, and I loved it. This spike just adds everything that I want to say the Max Cat is, but fuses it with what I'd say the jaw fly is, which is you have the jaw fly here, but then when you go back here, you have basically a Max Cat, and it divides right here, and it's perfect, honestly. If I could recommend any spike for $90, this spike is probably one of the best Nike spikes you're going to be getting, because one, a lot of the pros use it, and there's a reason why, because the spike's just that good. I use the spike for, I haven't ran a 100 in forever. That's why the jaw flies were the last spike I ran a legit 100 meters in, and I use these mainly for the 4. I've used it for a 6 once, and it wasn't bad. It's just that it just don't heel strike, please. So yeah, this spike, it's great. The lockdown is amazing. The fly wire does its job, of course. But yeah, if you're looking for a spike to destroy the curves, because this thing's like a curve machine, get yourself some sellers. There's other people out there that say that the arch is too high in the seller. I don't. Everybody has different feet, so that could be true, or it's just that you're just not used to, I guess, the seller, and that's why a lot of people like the Max Cat, because it's more of like it's like it doesn't have an arch at all, basically. So if you're looking for a spike that is great on the curves, gives you like a jaw fly feel, but gives you a Superfly upper kind of, and you want them for like the 400 and the 200. This is a spike for you, of course, and it'll do the job very well. And the last spike, of course, has to be the Superfly R4, and the Superfly R4 is probably it's like a spike that, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I just love this spike. It has the upper, as I said, the similar upper to the sellers, but the plate is exactly as the, like the old spikes and the jaw fly and stuff. This plate fused with this upper, it just makes it perfect. There's like zero breathability though. Same thing with the sellers. As you can tell, sellers, Superfly, look, there's like zero place to let air in, and it's the same deal with this one. Same thing with the jaw fly. You have zero spot to get air in this spike. So this spike right here is what I would recommend for you aggressive 100 to 200 meter runners. This is a spike for you. Now, if you're a 400 meter runner and you want an aggressive 400 meter spike, this is also the spike for you. Run fast though, because you don't want to be in the spike too long. It will kind of hurt you a bit. Like I don't train in these spikes at all. These spikes are just competition spikes. The upper is great. The fly wire is amazing. It works. It actually works. The vapor tongue is a nice touch. Everything just flows well with this spike. And yeah, if that's kind of it. This spike I think retails for 120, 125. I'm not sure American dollars. If you guys have any question, just feel free to ask. If you there's like I could talk about more about the uppers in the comments, uppers, the plates, the spikes I use. I use Christmas trees. I know they're not legal per se in meats, but hey, nobody checks. So comment down below, leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you want, and also follow my track page on Instagram, Track Spikes USA. And yeah, if you have any more questions, you can contact me anywhere on there. And that's basically it. Hope everybody has a great day. Catch you later.